Yeah, I'm going to take this moment to do our land acknowledgement as I do on each episode. Toronto, or Tekaronto, is located on the traditional unceded territories of the Mississaugas of the New Credit First Nation, the Huron-Wendat, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Anishinaabe. This is a dish with one spoon treaty territory, and we are uninvited visitors on this land. To learn more about that, where you grew up or where you currently live, you can go to native-land.ca, which covers the whole world and not just Canada. So you can learn about treaties and the actual Indigenous groups and all that kind of stuff. So it's a great place to get started in your learning journey.
Jimmy Wedge.
Now, you had, if you don't mind me mentioning this, in your notes that you provided me, you mentioned that you are Native yourself. I didn't know that.
I am. I'm Ojibwe on my mom's side of the family, actually, which is amazing. My great-great-grandfather was actually an Ojibwe chief. So by technical terms, genetically, historically, descendantly, I'm a princess, which is kind of exciting.
That's very cool.
Isn't it cool? Yeah, I always really liked that fact about myself. I really, really love that. Ever since I was a kid, my mom was always reminding me, you're a princess, you're really a princess. Like, you're really a princess. Thanks, Mom. Yeah, I have some family living on the reserves in Sault Ste. Marie. I was never really very close to a lot of my Ojibwe family growing up, just because, due to colonialism and shifting cultural structures, there was a lot of struggle around mental health and alcohol and substance abuse addiction on that side of my family, just because that's what happens when you take a beautiful, natural, amazing culture and then put it in a box and torture it until it doesn't exist anymore, right? And that's something that I really, really do take pride in, and it's something that I really like. I like to tell people, and I like to remind people of, because even though I have a very, very mixed background in a lot of other ways, my Native background is actually a very strong part of my blood lineage, and it's something that I feel is really special, and I feel is really important, and I like wearing with pride. I actually recently gave myself, I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I can see it.
I gave myself an Ojibwe tribal tattoo. Yeah, and it was a really big commitment for me, because I mean, as a tattoo artist, your body is your work, right? And your art is your work. And for me, tattooing is such a spiritual practice, and I definitely like to explore my blood roots and my ancestry in my tattooing practice. And this one was like, I'm gonna put something bold on my face, and it's gonna be a very big honoring of my lineage and my heritage and my history, so that way everyone looking at me will know. And if they don't know, they might ask, and we can have that conversation. And I like having that conversation, because I always felt like it was a shame even how disconnected I was from my own roots growing up. And I mean, I appreciate and I love all cultures and everything that I've ever been a part of. And, part of my life as a yoga teacher has been understanding how to integrate everything into oneness, into one practice, into unity. Yoga means union, and that's something that I really do cherish. And I feel like there's so much beauty in knowing where things come from and how to live with the land. That's such an important thing. And I mean, even during these pandemic times, if you look at Native legends and you look at Native elders, they've all predicted everything that's happening now. Everything has been there. The Hopi legends have said everything that's happening now, and their advice is to not watch so much television. Don't watch the news so much, because you're just going to put yourself in an anxious cycle. Reconnect with the earth and start a garden. And truly, it's such a beautiful, beautiful, simple way of grounding your spirit, grounding your mental health, grounding your body, remembering the cycles of the earth that actually exist, and really living with that. When you really take the time to connect with those simple things like planting a garden, you start to notice things like how the soil reacts in different environments, where things actually want to grow, what the sunlight is like at different points in the season, what's best for what in the season, what rain and natural disaster can actually do, what a good growing season is actually like. And when we start to learn how to slow down and pay attention to the cycles of nature, we actually see our own cycle in that, because we are nature, and that's something that's a very important thing to remember.
I'm curious, at what age did you learn of this heritage of yours? Do you
My
remember?
mom was always telling me, always,
Okay.
ever since
Okay.
I was little. Yeah.
Okay, because I know some people they'd learn, that they might have like a distant like king, like royalty in their family when they're in like maybe their 20s or 30s, and they just happen to hear about it. So yeah.
Yeah, no, ever since I was really little. I remember when I was like 3 or 4, my mom took me out for Halloween, and I also have Indian and Egyptian in my family side as well, on my biological father's side. And so she dressed me up for Halloween that year, and I wanted to be a princess. So I was an Indian Egyptian native princess, and that was my costume, but it was also just who I actually am, which was really cool.
That's awesome when you get to just dress up as yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Every time I'm a witch, I'm like, I'm just myself.